Thank you, Rick. Welcome, everyone, fellow rock and rollers, shipmates. Ahoy there. Lend me your ears. Today, I'm both sad and delighted to present my last presentation on this cruise, the 1970s. What happened? And so many things did. We look at starting off with 1972, Watergate and the scandal. 2 years later, President Nixon would resign. And 1975, the end of the Vietnam War. Going on, then we have that moment where that very clever chappie, Steve Jobs, founded a small orchard called Apple Corps. And with that, look how it's changed the way we explore, communicate, and listen to music. I'm often asked, what happened to rock and roll? Because as a genre, it has diminished. And perhaps we and Keith Richards are the last pallbearers of strict rock and roll, what I talk about. What happened was, in the 70s and definitely in the 80s, rock and roll fragmented. There was there was some rock and roll, but because you had house rock, garage rock, swamp rock, country rock, disco, and all those many other areas where rock and roll went, it diminished the pool of attention on rock and roll was to fade accordingly. So let's rock and roll and turn the pages back into that time machine, 1970s. The Bee Gees, an English-Australian pop group formed in 1958. Now, they were born in England, but they immigrated to Australia in the middle of the 1950s. And their lineup consisted of Barry, Robin, and Morris. Now, that's the Bee Gees. I'm not talking about the Gibb brothers. I'm just talking about who were called the Bee Gees. Tight harmonies, and perhaps the terror the twins felt at this stage of their career. You're not going to be tested. Who knows what CPR is? You're safe, you can stay there. Well, as you know, CPR is giving the right number of compressions on someone who's just recently had a heart attack. And a team of medical professors found out Staying Alive, the Bee Gees song, had the perfect number, 100 beats per minute. You play that, you're on the mark, you would save a life. There was an alternative song by Queen, and that was called Another One Bites the Dust. However, they felt that wasn't the time to play that particular song. Oh, to be young. Sir Roderick David Stewart. Anyone heard of him? British rock singer and songwriter. Stewart is one of the best-selling music artists of all time, having sold millions and millions of records worldwide. I warn you, they're amazing. They're in their 70s. I've got a bit more about them maybe later on if you want to see them. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. You've been wonderful. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you on the ship. And come and say hello.